Seriously.
Okay, we've turned the focus on Tuchel now.
Can I ask anybody a question? How many Brighton players would have got on the Chelsea starting 11 yesterday? None. Not one. And so there you go. There's how you fight for a title. You go and play against a team who clearly technically are way less than what you should be, but you still get beaten. You want to go and blame COVID and injuries and everything else. No. Get on the field and you win your games, and don't start making excuses, because that's all that is.
I mean, everybody's suffering from that. Everybody's suffering from the COVID. Some are suffering worse than others. Some have got bigger squads than others, better quality squads. It's kind of a suck it and see and let's get on with it. I have little sympathy for a lot of these clubs that have X amount of players out on loan and fantastic academy players coming through. I know it's not ideal. It's not an ideal scenario we live in and haven't done for 18 months to 2 years. But we're all getting a bit sick and tired. I think, Sean Dyche, the Burnley manager, touched on when people were talking about the welfare. Premier League players, the welfare of these players has never been better looked after. They have absolutely everything. OK, they may play a little bit too many games sometimes for everybody's liking, but that's a scenario that we live in. And quite frankly, this complaining from Tuchel and Klopp and others, Brendan Rodgers was involved, and there have been more, it's just now falling on deaf ears. The sympathy train has gone. Right, it has gone. There's a lot of people worse off than Thomas Tuchel and some of these top managers. Jan?
Yeah, no, I just think that is a fair point. I think that now it's getting a bit. When Tuchel says something or Klopp says something about, you just say, haven't they said that just 2-3 days ago at the same press conference? I think you now have to get on with it. We know that now it's COVID. Check. We know we have injured players. Check. You have only 3 subs. Check. League Cup is coming up. League Cup is still here. And let's put. We can talk about players' welfare. Maybe they're playing too many games, but we just have to find the right forum to discuss that. And that is after the season, when just send your representatives to all these hearings, all these meetings they have between the season. I think now say it once and then shut up. I mean, let's make it easy.
If you looked at Chelsea's bench yesterday and went, oh, this seems like a struggle. I mean, it was strong. Yeah, they picked up injuries in the game, and Reece James was a challenge. The injury was a challenge. It wasn't a consequence, I don't imagine, of playing too many games. And so it's now hard to swallow that some of these teams. And by the way, they dropped points at home to Burnley after dominating the game. Man United, they bashed them, as the boys were saying yesterday. And now Brighton, who are a good side, by the way. Good side, Brighton. Tidy little side. But Chelsea didn't kill the game off with good players on the field. So this is not why they're dropping off. They're not dropping off the title race, Kay, because of COVID or injuries. They're dropping off because their form has dropped off. There's no doubt about that.
Is he not taking the pressure off his players a little bit, though, with a comment like this?
As we keep saying, you give players an excuse to lose games or to drop points. In this case against Brighton, 9 times out of 10, they're going to take it. And I'm with the boys on this. I really don't get the constant complaining when you're a club like Chelsea up against, in this instance, Brighton, and you look at everybody else in the league, all struggling with the same COVID, all struggling with injuries, all struggling with the number of games. As a matter of fact, you could make the argument that the smaller clubs lower down the league who don't or can't afford the luxury of private air travel to some of the further games out, they're already at a disadvantage. So we're 3 weeks out from, just about 3 weeks out from their last Champions League games. So for those clubs that are competing in that competition, this fixture schedule right now is not their concern, or certainly not an excuse for anything that they may feel.
So is he ruled himself? Is that what he's doing then? Is he? Because whose fault is it that this is happening? It's something that's happening to every club. Or is he just saying, OK, that's it, we're not in the title race?
Arsenal had COVID cases at the beginning of the season, and they dropped points.
And again.
And they were made to play.
And they played. And Arteta may have complained, but they got on with it. And now they're having their best spell. And now everybody else is having that same turn to complain, and one game's called off for a similar situation that Arsenal struggled with at the start of the season. I'm with everybody on this. I have no sympathy for especially those bigger clubs and their complaints when you look at their squads, and I'm not buying into it.
But having said that, Kay, I just think that I think we should listen to a Klopp or a Tuchel when they say it once. Or Rangnick, it was said he'd been at 2 minutes and he talked about taking the League Cup away. But fair enough, let them have them say and then get on with it. I think that as many times you do this at press conference or after games or whatever you do it, it starts getting into an excuse. And I think that they are too wise and too intelligent to keep that going. I think that it's time now to stop, get on with it, and just take it from there. Because now when I heard Tuchel again, and when you put this statement out from him again, I thought, wasn't that last week? Oh, was it yesterday again? So I think Tuchel, there will be people telling me now to just get on with it and win some football games, because now slowly it turned into excuses.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.